Today we are going to be scouting the Premier League to find the best players for Cap 240. I have found 5 players plus a few extras that are perfect if you're looking to play Cap 240 and win those thresholds. Before we get into the video guys, please make sure to like and also subscribe, and let's check out the team. Okay guys, so this is the 5-man team that I have made. In goal we've got Neto from Bournemouth, Ben Mee in defence from Brentford, Garnegay in midfield from Everton, up front Jordan Ayew from Crystal Palace, and then Tom Cairney in midfield from Fulham. Currently, the floor price is £444. You can see here that most of that is obviously coming from the goalie cost. The recent average is 416. When this full team plays together, they hit threshold 29% of the time, which is okay. But yeah, they've only played as a whole 7 times. Now, obviously, with these stats here, you can play the fixtures. I have got some extra cards as well, which we can talk through at the end. And you can obviously optimize this in terms of picking the best captain, etc. And yeah, I would expect you could probably get this up to around that sort of 40 to 50% of the time hitting thresholds, which for a team costing this much, you only really need 8 thresholds. So probably what's that, like 15, 16 game weeks, so 3-4 months to actually pay this team off, which overall I think is very, very good value. Now, in terms of the individual players, in goal is Neto from Bournemouth, a nice long contract, which is what we want to see. There is obviously that slight chance of relegation, but this year I think with teams like Sheffield, Luton, Burnley, I think there's probably 3 teams that are worse than Bournemouth this year, and they have been on a quite good run recently. So I think Bournemouth should be okay. Like I was saying, his price, the 3-day average is 314 with the floor at 325. And yeah, in terms of his scores, pretty much what you would expect for a Cap 240 rare keeper. When he keeps that clean sheet, some nice dark green scores. Has quite a sort of safe middle ground, which is nice. A few lower scores here, but that is what you expect with keepers at this sort of price range. But yeah, a consistent starter and someone that you can start week in, week out without any issues, really. And then in defence, we have gone for Ben Mee. Now, he did just get sent off in his last game, so his price might even come down a little bit further. Currently around that sort of £20 mark. The reason we selected him is for his form here. Last season, he was a very, very consistent scorer for Brentford. Missed a few games here due to injury, and then came back. Had some okay scores here, a nice peak when he scored, and then got sent off last game. So he's going to be suspended for the Wolves game and maybe the Palace one as well. But yeah, a really solid scorer, nice AA, 11 AA in total. Got a few goals as well from set pieces. I haven't actually checked through his scores, but when he does start averaging 49.9, which is quite nice. At home averages 55, so he is much better at home, which is the same for Brentford as a whole. They are more of a home team. And his AA does push up then to 13.2. But yeah, for someone who's £20, I think he's very, very good value. And when he's fit and he isn't obviously suspended, he's a guarantee starter for Brentford, which is what you want in these Cap 240 teams. In midfield, we have gone for Garnegay from Everton. His 3-day average is £15 and his floor is 15.33. Yeah, someone that is pretty much your typical Cap 240 midfielder. Has a really, really consistent sort of mid-ground in his scores. He missed the last game due to suspension of picking up too many yellow cards. But yeah, normally when he's fit, he's a safe starter for Everton. He can get you those dark greens. You can see back here when he gets that AA, can hit those mid sort of 60s to 70. But yeah, is a very, very consistent scorer, 15.5 AA, which is great for a midfielder. If we have a look at when he's playing and look at his home and away split, at home 51, so slightly better at home, 18 AA, which is great. And yeah, 47.8 AA, 12.4 when he is playing away from home, which is very, very good. You would have to just have a look and see if he's going to AFCON or not. If he does, and if he's starting, then then Senegal are normally one of the better teams at AFCON anyway. But yeah, he's a very, very safe player, and is someone that should get you in that 40 to 50 range on most game weeks. Up top, we have gone for Jordan Ayew, who plays for Crystal Palace. His 3-day average is £37.55. The floor is currently a little bit higher at £48. He's someone that is pretty much the best I could find for a budget option, around that sort of £30 to £50 mark. When he's fit and healthy, yeah, he's playing pretty much every game. I just have realised that he did miss the last game due to a red card. So yeah, just be careful with this team, because obviously Ben Mee, Gana Gueye and I have all either been suspended due to yellow cards or red cards, but as a whole, these are the best budget options. And yeah, he's someone that over this time frame, 5 goals, 5 assists, which is quite good, can hit those dark green scores. And yeah, as a forward, having 9.2 AA is very, very good for this budget. If you have a look at his home and away split, at home averages 48.2, 10.1 AA, which is very, very nice, gives you that safe floor. And away from home is actually slightly better, with 52.5. He tends to get more goals and assists when he isn't playing at home, which is a little bit strange, but he's still averaging 9.6 AA, which is very, very good. Crystal Palace are a very, very organised team, and yeah, under Hodgson, shouldn't really have any sort of risk of relegation. I'm not sure if he plays for Ghana in AFCON or not, but if he does, he'll have games coming up against Cape Verde and also Egypt. You would expect them to get through their group. They do also play Mozambique as well. But yeah, as a whole, a really safe starter, someone that's going to play pretty much every game, and then does give you that little bit of upside, and can hit those dark greens as well. And then for our extra, we have gone for Tom Cairney from Fulham. He has been in some really good form recently. His 3-day average is £28.95, and his floor price £35. Like I was saying, he's been in some very, very good form recently, which is why his price is a little bit higher. He's starting to get some more minutes for Fulham, which is why I have gone for him. He takes a lot of their set pieces as well. And if these sort of minutes carry on, and he is a safe starter moving forwards, then for £30, I definitely think it's worth the risk. Fulham obviously been very, very good recently, scoring goals, which is great for someone that's on set pieces. In terms of their upcoming fixtures, Burnley and Bournemouth, which is great. Arsenal, Chelsea, not the best, but then Everton, Burnley, Bournemouth again afterwards. So what's that, like 5 out of the next 7 games are quite good for Fulham. So I think overall Fulham are quite a good team to actually target. And as I mentioned, I did find some extra players as well, which you can purchase instead of the options I mentioned, or you can purchase all of them and then basically target the best fixtures. Castagne, once again, for Fulham, good fixtures, someone that should pretty much play every game, can play at right back, left back, really good scores, get some nice dark greens just from AA as well. And you do obviously get the bonus of him playing for Belgium. Offensively, you could also go for James Tarkowski from Everton, around that sort of £35 to £40 mark, someone that's very, very consistent, going to play every game, and is also a set piece threat, which is obviously very, very key, especially when you're playing in a Sean Dyche team, with McNeil whipping in those crosses, corners. Tarkowski is always going to be a threat, and obviously recently Everton have been very, very good. In terms of their fixtures, the next 3 out of 4 aren't great, with Tottenham, City and Villa, but they do play Wolves and Fulham in that time frame. And then sort of early February, their fixtures do turn and start to get a little bit easier. But overall, you can see that he's got quite a safe floor anyway, so he's fairly sort of fixture proof, which is what you want for a cap 240 player. And then in midfield, we have got Mario Lemina, who plays for Wolves. He's run about that £30 mark once again, similar to Gana Gueye in terms of his scoring. Very, very safe mid-ground, rarely gives you a bad score, and does give you a little bit of upside, especially here when he scores. Once again, a safe start, which is something that we always focus on with our Cap 240 players. A little bit of a risk of red cards and getting too many yellows. But overall, really, really solid. Wolves should be okay this season. Had a little bit of bad luck with VAR. And yeah, like I was mentioning earlier, with the Bournemouth players, there are 3 worst teams, I think, in the league this season. So yeah, I think Wolves should be nice and safe. And yeah, he's a very, very consistent starter. And last up, another budget forward option is Chidozie Ogbene for Luton. He's someone that up until recently has started pretty much every game. I'm not sure what's going on the last 3 games. But you can do a little bit of research, maybe an injury here in the Brentford game. But he's someone that gets really nice AA when he's playing for a forward. 7.3 is very, very good. You have a look at when he's starting as well. That goes up to 8.3. And when he's at home, goes up to 9.1 and a 50.3 average. Forward is always a difficult one in Cap 240. Normally, these budget options don't score great. But yeah, you just want someone that's going to start, play often, and when they do score, can hit you those sort of mid 70s to 80s. And yeah, with him, obviously, there is that risk of Luton going down. However, if they do go down and he stays next season, he's obviously going to be a very, very good option in the Championship as well. And just looking at how this 5-man team scores, if we go to the graph here, a few lower scores here at 224, 241, 250, but a near miss here at 279, hit here at 284, a 323 hit here, a near miss here at 274. So if you did purchase this team plus a few extras, and like I was saying, if you did target the better fixtures, pick your captaincy well, I think this team could easily yield back the total in, yeah, like 3-4 months. And obviously Cap 240 is a great way of yielding back the total team value. Okay, guys, that's going to be all for today's video. If you think I've missed any players from the Premier League that are really great options for rare Cap 240, please let me know down in the comments. As always, guys, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.